program. Like I
Yeah.
don't know whether we should input because I heard from
Yeah.
one of the response like
Mm. This will be another question they will ask, why you why you
mm,
want to join our program, why this program, this kind of question you will be exposed later.
by hearing like so many responses, I find that tell me about yourself is this question is like you can answer it in any way. Like it depends upon your point of view and like it depends upon the person who is hearing it.
Yeah.
Maybe the backbone is like that. Like we should talk about a medical school and then present, past, and if you are okay, you can talk about future. Otherwise, it's okay. Like maybe we can add about our hobbies too. If we find our question is like very short, like our response is very short.
Yeah.
Thank you for your response, though.
Yeah, I always when do I practice, I forget. Like, thank you for your response for giving me to talk about myself. I always
Yeah,
forget.
maybe you can pick it up by practicing it even like even many more times.
Yeah,
I don't think like we can frame our answers exactly what we are practicing right now. We are practicing like those stuff just for our sanity. Like we should attend, at least we should attend interview very confidently. Like I don't think we can. It's not like we are by hearting our responses. Even though we by heart by the stress level that we are having while we are giving an interview, we would forget some stuff.
exactly. It's just for the practice to keep certain things in my mind, make things in mind, and make fluent ourselves while speaking in English. Yeah, all right.
If anyone is up with some more questions, so we can carry on.
Okay, I have a general question. Okay, how do we explain the difference in healthcare system in US and India? I mean, like,
Right. Scarce.
Um, I think so. Honestly, what I observed is the patient knowledge on their this on their condition is more compared to my country, which is India. I mean, they are
patient
more.
awareness.
Yeah, you can say health awareness or health literacy. I guess the exact word would be health literacy. I mean, that's what I observed. Because I did my rotation in rural areas, and there also people were, aware more than a
Yeah, they
general.
ask questions even about their condition.
Yeah,
Like,
we can mention like 2 to 3 points like EMR system, the health insurance system, like
yeah, health insurance. Yeah.
the patient awareness. Like in the US, the people are so much aware. Like I did my one rotation and I observed that there was a lady, she was just asking about the drugs. Why this drug? Why not that drug? What the proper time? What are the alternative options? Like back in our hometowns, they never do ask because of the lack of awareness. But here,
Yeah.
they totally involved into the care system, and I think it's a good thing over here.
Not only patient, even their family member, they ask questions here,
Yeah,
and they
so
are
much.
very much concerned.
Yeah, but back in our hometown, they don't do that much.
Yeah. And we can also add there is a presence of many advanced technologies, investigations, and blah blah, which are not present in our healthcare system back in home.
Yeah,
Yeah,
is
if
it
you
okay to?
want a neutral opinion, I can give a neutral opinion. Like and just to be on the safe side, like if we, at some point they are gonna think that we are mocking one of the health system, like
Yeah,
either it should be
exactly.
like
Kind of
their
a,
own.
yeah,
Yeah,
we don't
so
want them to
maybe
have negative impression. Yeah.
yeah, maybe if you want a neutral opinion, you should like you should tell them like our health system is like a mixed kind of thing because if you go into corporate sector, like if you go into very big cities, people are having health insurance even in India. Like basically I'm from India, so I had
Mm.
seen some people having health insurance even in India, and I had seen so many people in rural settings, like from our medical school setup, that they don't have any health insurance. They don't even know what health insurance is. So we are like a mix, like of both having a health insurance at the same time we are not having health insurance. And regarding EMR too, like some of the medical colleges have like EMR, and even some of the corporate sectors have like EMR in India. Even though they are having EMR, they are using both the system. Like just to be safe, they are using a pen and paper mode. At the same time, they are using AMR mode. Maybe you can tell them like maybe we are progressing, or like we are changing our system slow by slow, like step by step, because we are having both the systems in India. At least we are not seeing it. Like, what if you call some of your friends you are doing in very big cities? Like maybe they can tell you like, yeah, we are having an AMR like that thing. Because I heard
Yeah.
from one of my friend who is
Yeah,
in Bangalore.
in private setting we have EMR.
Yeah. So then we can't tell them like we are EMR is like a very new thing to us, because then they might think like, okay, this guy doesn't even know EMR beyond his rotations. He don't even heard that name like EMR. I think it might sound bad. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
And
all depend upon.
how about the screening? Okay, because the US focuses mainly on the preventive
Yeah,
aspect of the care.
that's what my next point is.
That's
Like
all.
if they ask you like to pinpoint you like exactly what's the difference that you find in your med school and here, maybe you can tell them like in your healthcare system it's more of a preventive nature. Like while I'm rotating here, I had seen so many people like coming here for wellness visit. Basically, wellness
Mm,
visit thing is a very new thing to us, even to us. Like I had seen my first wellness visit like when I was rotating in outpatient clinic, I had seen the wellness visit. That at that time I find it okay. These people are like visiting doctor just for a sake, just for a general checkup. That doesn't happen in
yeah.
our countries.
We
Mm,
can
So
okay.
we can
maybe we
say
can.
this like this the preventive care and screening system is more advanced and practiced here in US than our country.
mm, Or we
Maybe
can
we
say
can
otherwise like
rephrase, yeah, like in India, we focus mainly on the communicable diseases instead of the chronic, compared to US, where we focus more on the chronic and the oncology part.
Yes.
yeah. But if you ask me to like limit your response to a single word or single statement about your country's medical practice, then I'm gonna tell them like we practice resource limited practice in our country. That's what we
Mm,
do.
Yeah.
okay.
That's what we usually do. Yeah.
Yeah. We can
But
add
if
that
you
we
have like a
focus.
very good term, if you
Mhm.
have a very good term, or you can elaborate it more in a professional way, not to like take sides on either side, then it should be a very
Okay.
good response.
Okay. Thanks for your opinion. Yeah.
Yeah. If anyone wants to add on that resource limited practice, does it sound like more like taking side or like neutral thing or honest opinion? I don't know.
It is kind of like neutral because like we can say that we are utilizing whatever we have.
I think so.
Mhm.
Being like the thing that you just mentioned, we had a mix of both working in a
Mhm.
resource center as well as um, a sophisticated one. I think so. That's quite neutral take on that.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Even
Yeah.
metros, you're typically experiencing the best quality, which is almost equivalent to that, right? Like in Mumbai,
Sorry?
I mean, like Hyderabad,
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also wellness centers. Yes, that's a new thing because they have that, and we sort of don't have it. Okay.
And are we supposed to talk like something on the health insurance or something? Like in our
Okay, health
breakfast?
insurance. Okay, like in India, like we didn't have that much of practice. So I just heard from few people that we have insurance in
Mhm.
India as well, it seems. It's just that we
Actually,
don't know because we didn't practice.
actually,
it.
we I don't know if everybody's aware or not. There is also government given health insurance. I
Yeah,
think so. In Andhra Pradesh, we have this, yeah,
Arogyasri
Ayushman
we
Bharat
have.
previously
Yeah.
we had this Aragashree. It's
Yeah, that's
basically
Yeah.
what.
the
Yeah.
insurance that's given by the government. So, um, and if you worked in the government settings, a lot of the surgeries were done for free. Well, it was timed and it had a timetable. According to that, only they used to, book the cases and do. But still, it was the insurance that the people got. People with less
Yeah.
resources or poor background, you can say. Yeah. So
Yeah,
we
Yeah.
like
If
can't
we
you
do
just
want a
have
new.
insurance.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Sure. Go
like,
ahead.
I am from Pakistan. I believe there's no such insurance system. Like, it's not in my knowledge. So, should I add this point like it's a new? Because in like Pakistan is a developing country due to lack of insurance when it comes to the expensive diagnostic testing. people paid less attention due to the less amount of money do they have. Like here in the US, they don't worry about such things because the system is
Uh,
so developed.
Basically,
They used to cover such things all. Should I
I
add this?
don't. I think
that's part of
yours.
our understanding, right? Like, yeah, I get that, but I think so. You can add on the health insurance by not mentioning about the, people in US have lots of money, and I think so that will
Yeah,
again, go into bad and another track because US
yeah,
people are
yeah,
also having problems with poverty and all. No? Not everybody has money, so that can again go into other track.
Okay.
yeah, yeah. In your response, you're touching some sensitive topics like in US people are having money. That's why they are so much aware of their health. Like it sounds somewhat like kind of touching some sensitive issues there.
Okay.
Like
And
regarding previous
we have
response, like
a lot
about
of
Arogyasri.
awareness compared to normal average people. Compared to us, they have a lot of health awareness.
Mhm.
That again adds to their primary care, which is again what, and it circles up, right? It makes sense because they have good focus on primary care. That's why the people are also aware of it, and like more resources are being put into that, so they'll be getting educated on them.
Yeah,
So
but
that's
but
why.
it doesn't depend upon their poverty line or like their financial status. Like, even the homeless people are having like if they
Yeah.
are sane and like conscious, some are like having awareness about their health, even though they are not having that kind of money. So I don't
Access,
think
yeah.
it's a good thing
If they don't have access, they
to
have.
combine both poverty and awareness. Yeah, regarding our earlier response, like regarding Arogyasri and everything, if you want to stand on the neutral thing, maybe you can tell like in even in US there is a government insurance called Medicare.
Medicaid.
It's for people who are, yeah, people who are not having the secure job or like somewhat kind of I think end stage renal disease. It sounds more
Mm.
familiar to our like it sounds somewhat similar to Arogyasri that
Average
Yeah,
we
yeah,
are
it's
having
pretty
in
much
our country.
similar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so maybe we can tell them like, yeah, if you take a health insurance part, there is a thing called Arogyasri in our country, like particularly in our state, which is like somewhat similar to uh, Medicare.
Medicare,
So
Medicare, yeah.
we are having some kind of exposure, but not like quite similar to you. So maybe we can say like not like quite similar. Maybe you can say like somewhat similar to you, but with a different name and different rules.
Mm. I don't know.
Yeah,
Does Medicaid encompass surgical procedures? Yes, I guess.
Med-
I'm not sure. That's what.
No, no,
I don't know about.
it is for like chronic and some degenerative diseases.
But ours is for emergency. Like somebody
everything.
has an accident.
Everything. So
Yeah, everything comes under that. Yeah.
I think
And
it's better
so
to avoid the insurance part, I think, then.
Mm.
So,
Like a lot
Dr.
of
Uday, how
discussions, so yeah.
I think so. It
how
is more about which country. I think so. It's about which, like maybe we can avoid. Say, for example, some other country has that difference that they clearly observe. Maybe they have to go with it. Being, honest or truth to whatever they see as the difference.
so Dr. Uday, like you gave like
Mhm.
the example you just gave the Medicaid and Medicare. So my question
Mhm.
is how like the question which we are discussing is how the US healthcare system is different than your home country, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
So
it should not be entirely different. What are you gonna do
Mhm.
if your healthcare system is somewhat similar to yours? Then your response is like it sounds somewhat similar to my home country healthcare system. Like, so if you are coming from UK or some advanced countries, then
mhm.
it might be similar to US thing. So they don't exactly expect you like to tell the differences.
Okay, like we have to
I
play the
mean, if
safe side
in
game.
my no 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 in my opinion, if we stand on a neutral ground, then they might think like if we stand on a neutral ground, then we are giving our response in a way like okay, our healthcare system is somewhat similar to your healthcare system. Then they might think like okay, this guy has basically some kind of exposure in his home country. I don't know whether
Mhm.
they'll take it as a good thing or whether they'll take it as okay, this guy is like making up stories because he just wants to convey it in a manner that we are both same. Just give me a residency like that thing.
And like, what about the evidence-based medicine? Like, can we elaborate on that?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
completely different when compared to both the system, in my opinion.
Yeah, because like in India we practice based on like experience or practice
Yeah, we
compared
are
to like
lacking in.
research.
So
Mhm.
in the last discussion, someone said me not to use like the clinical base or the this one because the clinical base is ultimately coming from that thing. So
like evidence-based medicine in the sense, like how are we comparing?
like
Uh,
Okay,
evidence,
like in US, like they have like backup research, like they'll have the data backup kind of like research to support their decision in compared to in India where we treat based on our practice.
but then we take the
no,
information
like
from the same researchers, right?
yeah,
We
someone
use
said
it as
like you are
research and
practicing
then we
from the evidence based, like you are giving some antibiotic, whatever treatment, ultimately that is coming from the evidence, right? So ultimately things
Okay.
are going to be the same. Either it's a clinical or evidence. The clinical which you are doing in the India or Pakistan, that is ultimately coming from the evidence based, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
she said not to mention like
but then
related to this thing.
I think so
Like
there is a difference in how you handle new drugs. In India, well, you don't prescribe something like, say, for example, these things like drugs with a lot of side effects, like biologic agents and anti like immunosuppressants and all. That's not so quickly given. But then I see maybe that's the evidence-based like practice that they're using while prescribing those
Yeah,
drugs. They basically have an evidence, right? But in India we just don't have it, so I mean, so far, so that's why we don't go uh, very quickly in doing that.
exactly. Like in one of my rotation in cardiology, I had like seen they practicing like evidence-based medicine. Like I don't exactly know how to frame that word because whenever they are seeing a patient, like they'll if they are like having a knowledge about that case, like if they are like ongoing studies or like just finished
Hmm.
studies, like even though they are like one or two studies, they'll think like, okay, this case is sounding somewhat similar to that study, like in research thing that they had seen recently. Then they'll think like, okay, this case is
Okay.
like similar. Maybe we can jump on to practice in a manner like that I had seen in that research. But when it comes to our country, we need like solid evidence, like so many studies and so much of practice. Then only we are considering that medicine, like that
To
medication
be,
or like that process. Yeah.
yeah, like even methotrexate, most of the doctors in India, like, hesitate to put it
Hmm.
immediately. But that's not the case. They just go for it, and adalimumab, stuff like that, they just prescribe it. That's what I saw in my rotation, and I'm like, okay, there's the difference.
Maybe in a
In
single word, it's like we are looking for so much of proof. They are looking just for one proof to go ahead.
I think so. What you have mentioned regarding being neutral, I think so that works well. Not taking sides.
Maybe we can tell, yeah, at some point we are gonna take one side. Like eventually, in this particular option, like telling about like practice that we are doing, maybe we can. So the different. So when you look it in a normal way, like not like answering this question, if you look at like where we are lacking in practicing, maybe we can tell like they are getting recent updates from all over the studies that are happening here. So they have like first-hand exposure like about the researchers. That's why they are like putting that into practice. When it comes to us, it should be published in a book. It should be like published in so many articles. Then only we are like practicing it. Maybe that's what
Adventurous shouldn't
lacking.
call it, but they're more risk taking. Yeah, they're more risk
Mm.
taking, I think. Should we say that like that?
Ah,
No.
no,
I don't
I
think
don't
so.
think
We
so
can use
because
that
yeah,
word. Yeah.
My rotation doctor was like that. I asked him, "You're going for all these things. Weren't you? Are you?" I said, "What about the side effect of having immunosuppression?" And all? In the US, we are a lot, I mean, a bit risk taking because we have this evidence based thing, so we just go for it.
I
I
don't
don't know
know.
if
It
that's
sounds
a
some kind of
good word or not,
offending
but
kind of thing.
that,
Maybe it's not the right word. That's it.
Yeah, yeah, that's what. Yeah.
Yeah, we can frame it in like humble way instead of like telling that.
that's why we are sticking to that initial response of like we are lacking in that evidence-based medicine. Even though the what Komal did mention, like we are practicing a thing that is like evidence-based only, but it is like so much old stuff that we are practicing right now because we are not getting current updates like the US people do. That's where the entire practice is lacking. Or we don't want to go into these controversies. We can always stick to the neutral thing, just by avoiding these type of words, evidence-based.
Okay, do like anyone have any other point to add this?
Like regarding this question of difference
Yeah,
between the
regarding this
healthcare system.
question. Yeah.
So to summarize, one is like there is a difference in preventive care, right?
Sorry, what
We are
was the question? Sorry, I joined late. What was the question?
Mhm.
Hi, my name is Nira.
Okay, we are
What was the
discussing about difference in US healthcare and India,
like home country healthcare.
home country. Yes.
okay?
So everyone is okay with that point of like mentioning about preventive, more of preventive care in US. It is valid point, right?
I guess so, yeah.
So what about the health awareness? Are we mentioning about the health
Also,
awareness?
what did you experience pertaining to preventive care in US that is different from India? How do you expand on that? Or from your
Yeah,
home country?
the wellness visit that I just mentioned. Like nobody in our country goes to a health, doctor just for like just to get a general health checkup, right?
Okay. Okay.
But in years we are seeing so many wellness visits.
And anything else? Like screening or something else that is going to be different?
Yeah, it is obviously different. We don't do
It
colonoscopies
includes
in
in
India.
preventive. Yeah.
But,
Yeah, no, no.
but we
I think she is
but
looking for the example.
but we are forgetting the basic point here. Like, why is it not like we are telling bad about our country? Basically, what we are telling when we are telling we don't have coronavirus